In this short video, we will take a look at the new binary classification inspector node in KNIME. This is a fairly new node that was released in the last version of KNIME. In the past, you may have used the score node along with other nodes to gauge the prediction performance of a model, but with the new node, you can do that easily, all in a visual format. Let's take a look at the output of this node. As you can see, it launches a Chrome browser, and the output contains a number of metrics and graphs. You can take a look at the accuracy rate, the error rate, sensitivity, specificity, precision, false negative rate. I'm not sure why there's no recall metrics. It would be nice to have a recall metrics as well, but nevertheless, it's a really good visualization tool for your model prediction performance. So now the other really good thing about this node is that you can drill down into any of these any of your models, and you can change the threshold. And this is your prediction probability threshold. So you can adjust that and see how how the confusion matrix changes along as you change the threshold. Maybe you're looking for a higher sensitivity and a lower specificity, or higher precision versus a higher specificity. You can change the threshold and get a good idea of how all of these measures will change as you change the probability cutoffs. So now, how do we get to this data, and what's involved in using this node? So that's actually very straightforward. So given I'm assuming that you already have built out a model, and you're evaluating the performance of various models that you have implemented, and so you're using the prediction node right here. I'm using 3 of them: one for the random forest, decision tree, and the gradient boosted trees. Now, instead of pushing the output of this node to a score node, which we used to do that previously in the KNIME, what we do is we well, first of all, we need to make sure that we are appending the class probabilities for each of these. And so this is the metrics that the inspector node uses to measure the performance, to visualize the performance. So make sure that you are adding the class probabilities to all the predictor nodes. This is not the default setting, so you actually have to go in and do that for each of the predictor node. And I'm just making sure that I do have that set in all of them. Yes, I do. So now, once you have that, you can change the column name if you want to make it more reader friendly. So here I changed the true value, which is what we are looking for, to the probability. So I call it the decision tree probability, and then the prediction is a binary response variable. So I just changed the variable names, and this just makes it easier for a reader to go through the output of the binary classification inspector node. And once you have that, you just join all 3 of or however many models that you have, join them based on the key that you're using. In this case, in this data set, the phone number was the key, so we'll keep that as it is. And similarly, join the 2 other output, and then once we have that, we can execute the binary classification inspector node, and we should get the output. But before we do that, let me just take a look at let's just take a look at the configuration for the binary classification inspector. The only thing that you would have to change is obviously the target column. This is your response variable that you're measuring against, and also you want to add all the probabilities that that came in from the previous nodes. So that's why I changed the names. It's easier to read and identify them right here. And so this is the probability that's coming from the predictor nodes. Okay, so these are the only two things you need to change. There are other settings that you want to experiment with. Go for it. And so the positive class in our case, we want to see if it's a true or if it's a churn or not, so we set it to true. And the target column is churn. Let's go ahead and click OK, and that's fine. And let's take a look at so this is what we saw earlier. It launches a Chrome browser, and here we have a nice visualization of all the metrics. So this is a really cool node that you want to explore, and it makes building models and evaluating them really really fun. That's a key thing. It has to be fun. So hopefully you'll start using this node, and I have already done that, and finding it very useful. Thank you.